The banker barely looked up when the little black boy climbed onto his tiptoes and pressed both palms on the counter. His voice was small but steady. "I just wanna see my balance, please." Before the teller could answer, a loud laugh came from behind him. A man in a designer suit, gold watch, shiny shoes, and the confidence of someone who owned half the city, stepped forward. "Kid, what do you think you have in there?" He smirked. "A couple dollars from mowing lawns." People around chuckled. The boy didn't. He just held out his worn debit card with both hands, eyes serious, like this moment mattered more than anyone understood. The millionaire leaned closer, amused. "Come on, buddy. This is a bank, not a piggy jar." The teller hesitated, uncomfortable, but the boy whispered, "It's important. My grandma said to check it today." The millionaire shook his head, still laughing. "All right, let's all see this big fortune, huh?" The teller slid the card into the machine. Beep. Processing. The boy didn't blink. He just watched the screen like he already knew something no one else did. Then the numbers popped up. And the millionaire's smile died instantly, eyes widening, mouth opening just a little as the color drained from his face. Because the balance wasn't small. It wasn't even normal. It was a number that made the entire line freeze. A number that made even the millionaire step back like the floor had tilted under him. The boy looked up at the teller and said quietly, almost like a warning. "My grandma said someone would laugh, before they got scared." The millionaire staggered closer, gripping the edge of the counter like he needed something to hold him steady. That can't be right," he muttered. "Check it again." The teller's hands shook as she refreshed the screen. Same number. Same impossible balance. People leaned in, whispering. "Is that millions? Who is this kid? Is this some kind of mistake?" But the boy stayed calm. Too calm. He didn't flinch, didn't smile, didn't even turn to look at the man who had mocked him. He just said, "My grandma told me it would show today." The millionaire swallowed hard. "Where did you get that money?" The boy turned slowly, his eyes sharp and steady. "It's not money. It's what she left me." The millionaire frowned, confused. "Your grandma left you millions." The boy hesitated, then reached into his small backpack. The zipper sounded loud in the quiet room. He pulled out a folded paper, old, worn, edges soft from being touched too many times. He placed it on the counter. The teller unfolded it. Her eyes widened even more. "It's a trust transfer," she whispered. "From." She stopped, staring at the signature. Then her mouth fell open. The millionaire leaned over, confused, then froze when he saw the name. A name the whole city knew. A name printed on buildings, hospitals, and half the real estate downtown. The boy's grandmother. Founder of the Daniels Foundation. A billionaire. A quiet one. A secretive one. And now, all of it had gone to a little boy with old shoes and a too big backpack. The millionaire stumbled back. Wait. Your grandma was her. But she never had kids." The boy looked down at his shoes. "She raised me in secret. She said people would treat me different if they knew." The millionaire felt the sting of that line like a slap. But then another twist hit. Because the boy whispered, voice trembling now. "And she said one day, one of her old enemies would come near me." He lifted his eyes, locking onto the millionaire's face. "And she said I'd recognize him, because he'd laugh first." The millionaire's entire body went rigid. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. The boy stepped closer. "Why did you laugh?" The millionaire's jaw clenched, but he forced a shaky smile. "Kid, you don't understand. I wasn't laughing at you. I was just..." But his voice cracked. Because the boy wasn't naive. He was watching the man the same way his grandmother used to. Quiet, sharp, measuring lies before they were even spoken. The millionaire took a slow step back, like the boy's gaze burned. She told you about me." The boy nodded once. "She said you tried to take something from her. Something she never forgot." A ripple went through the room. People stopped pretending they weren't listening. The tension grew tight enough to snap. The millionaire opened his mouth, then closed it. His hands shook. His throat worked as he tried to swallow the panic rising in him. "My grandma said," the boy continued, voice low but steady, "that one man tried to force her to sell her foundation. She said he promised to crush her little charity dreams." The millionaire flinched hard. A memory flashed across his face, old, ugly, undeniable. The boy tilted his head. "Was that you?" For a moment, the whole bank felt frozen in time. Then the man whispered, "That was, years ago. Before you were born. Nobody knew she had family." "She didn't," the boy said softly. "Not until she found me." His eyes glistened now, not with fear, but with something older, deeper. Strength he didn't even understand yet. "My grandma said people with power show who they really are when they think someone is small." The millionaire winced like the words were knives. "And she said," the boy added, "that the man who tried to buy her silence would try to laugh at me too, just to feel big for a second." The millionaire tried to steady his voice. "Look, I made mistakes, okay. Business gets messy. But I didn't know." The boy cut him off. He reached into his backpack again, slowly, like the weight of what he carried wasn't just paper, but destiny. This time he pulled out a second envelope. Dark blue. Sealed. With the same foundation crest on the front. "My grandma said to open this if a man laughed at me in the bank." The millionaire's face drained. The boy looked at the envelope for a long moment, then lifted his eyes to the trembling billionaire. "You laughed." He broke the seal. The banker leaned forward. The people in line held their breath. The millionaire's fingers dug into his own palms. The boy unfolded the letter. And his eyes widened. His lips parted. His breath caught. Even he didn't expect what came next. He whispered, "Oh no. Grandma knew exactly who you are." He slowly turned the letter so only the millionaire could see it. The man read the first line. And his entire body went cold. Because the letter didn't just mention him. It named him. And it exposed something he had spent 20 years hiding. Something that could destroy him. "Right here. Right now." The boy whispered. "Why did you try to steal from my grandmother?" The millionaire staggered backward like the floor had dropped out from under him. His eyes scanned the letter again, desperate, frantic, hoping he'd misread it. But the words were clear. His secret, his crime, his signature. All there. All verified. All written by the one woman powerful enough to bury him, or expose him. He whispered, She kept this. She kept everything." The boy folded the letter carefully, like he knew its value wasn't money, it was truth. "She said you stole funds from one of her shelters. A lot of money." Whispers erupted across the bank. "That's a felony. Is that true? Is he the guy from the news years ago?" The millionaire's face turned red, then pale, then sickly gray. "It wasn't like that. Your grandma misunderstood." "She never misunderstood anything," the boy said quietly. The teller stepped back, trying to give them space, but her eyes never left the millionaire. Even she wasn't buying his excuses anymore. The millionaire reached forward suddenly, grabbing the edge of the counter. "Listen, kid, we can fix this. We can make a deal. You don't want enemies. Not the kind I can make." The boy blinked slowly. "My grandma said you'd threaten me too." The man froze. Then the boy reached into his backpack and pulled out a tiny silver key. It was old, scratched, heavy for its size. "She said this opens a box in this bank. A box with proof." The millionaire's breath caught. He stepped back so fast he hit a chair behind him. "And no," he whispered. "She wouldn't. She promised she destroyed it." The boy tilted his head. "Then why are you scared?" His voice was soft. Too soft. And that softness shook the millionaire more than any yelling could. A bank manager rushed out from the back room, alerted by the commotion. "Is something wrong here?" The boy handed him the key. "My grandma said you'd know the box." The manager took one look at that silver key, and his entire expression changed. His posture straightened. His voice softened with respect. "Yes, sir. I know the box." The millionaire grabbed the counter again. Panic now full in his eyes. Don't open it. You can't open it without a court order. The manager shook his head. The keyholder is standing right here. He has full rights. People stared as the manager gestured for the boy to follow him. But before the boy moved, he turned toward the trembling millionaire. And he said one quiet, cutting line. My grandma said the truth would make you run. The millionaire's chest rose and fell fast, uneven. Run. I'm not running. But his eyes were already darting toward the exit. Toward escape. Toward a future slipping out of his grip. The boy looked at him calmly. You already are. And with that, he followed the manager toward the vault. While the whole bank watched the millionaire unravel.